Hello and welcome everybody. This is Stokvel, your real estate investor mentor coach. And today I'm breaking away from my usual approach, and I'm talking to you about property Stockvel basics. All right, property Stockvel. Why do we use the word Stockvel? So in South Africa, a property investment club or any sort of club where people put money together is generally referred to as a Stokvel. And it's well noted that Stokvels are generally a great way of getting a community or a group to bring money together. And that's what we're talking about today. What are the basics? What must you be looking out for? What are some of the things that you need to prepare ahead of actually creating the property Stokvel? And yeah, once you've done that, what are you really supposed to do to ensure that it is sustainable and also profitable and actually does what the initial intention of you creating it was? If it's the first time that you actually signing into this channel, please do me a favor, click on the bell on the top, subscribe, and also click for the notification so that every single time we're online, you will have an opportunity to actually be notified so that you can join us. You can also interact with me on this post. So with this specific video, I want it to be a little bit more interactive. So if you are online, go on the comment section and post a question as we're going along, and we will get back to you. If we don't answer it while we live, I'll definitely answer it while I'm offline. And yeah, once again, if you get value from this post, don't forget to share it with another person, because it's always great when you are able to give, right, of knowledge and of things that you're learning, because when you share with others, you are able to build a community around you, and that's what this evening's conversation is all about. So property Stockvel, come, let's go. This video is actually inspired by a conversation that a group of friends have been having on our groups that we've created, and it's intriguing. But for the longest of time, so since 2012, when we left Thabo Mbeki African Leadership Institute, we've been looking for models as Africans to say, how do we solve African problems? And being a property head, being an investment person, I've always then been looking at ways to say, how do we get society to start contributing or forming some sort of meaningful fellowship with your friends where money is involved? Because yes, I don't know about you, but before 2011, friends would only invite me to say, hey guy, we having this gig, do you want to show up? Hey, we're talking about ABCD, and it was never about money unless my client. So outside of my working life, my social life was all about people just approaching you and thinking, what can we do together that's fun? What can we do together that, to spend money? But it was never about how do we sit together as a people and say, come a certain amount of years from now, we will be old, and we need to have some sort of meaningful legacy that we would have created. And I also got tired, oftentimes, so when we were in the Thabo Mbeki African Leadership Institute studying about how to become leaders, African leaders for the tomorrow that is, it kept on coming up about how other races have been able to acquire wealth, how other races end up suppressing the African folk. And with this, I thought, or my contribution to it was, there's no one stopping anyone. No one has chains on them. We all have an equal ability. Once we have 10 fingers, 10 toes, and we've got 2 hands, 2 feet. It's even funny. I watched the video on Facebook just about a week ago, and it showed this lady who literally had no limbs, okay? No limbs. All she had was a little protruding stump, if you'd call it so, that she was using as a hand and as a leg and as everything, right? And she would use this to actually drive a car. And she drove so well. And I said, if people that have less ability can do so much, why is it that people with more ability end up not doing what they must. But anyway, lest I deviate, let's come back to the topic of today, which is property Stockvel, the basics. First and foremost, there is a great hype about, yes, you need to do a property Stockvel. There's a couple of people that I personally know that have attended some of my coaching sessions and have then later on gone out and having heard that Ebo Quagrin talks about group investment, have wanted to start their own. And it's good, at least they've taken initiative, but take this from me. If you don't take anything from this video, take this from me. Property Investment Club is more than the name Property Investment Club, okay? So if somebody comes to you and says, hey, guy, let's do a Property Investment Club, great. But what's the substance of the Property Investment Club? That's the most important. It's not about the name, it's about what is in it. So that's number one. Number two, now that you know that it's more than just the name, what are some of the things you should be looking out for? It's about the membership. First and foremost, the membership. Are you getting the right caliber of people to come together with you to invest with you, right? Now, I advocate for smaller groups. I advocate, if you don't know what you're doing as a start, to rather get a society around you and getting a coach, a wealth coach, a property investment coach, to then come and coach you guys to basically attain the success of which you wish to attain, right? That's one way of going about it, and I advocate for it. But there are some of you that also want to know, how do I at least try and get it done? So one, the membership. Get the right group of people around you. Make sure it's people that you can interact with, people that you'd want to build with. There's nothing as frustrating as doing something, wanting to go a certain way, and getting people totally disagreeing with where you're going and wanting to go the other way. So it's about the people. But how do you get the people? The people will come based on the objective. So number one, you've learned that it's more than the name. Number two is you want to make sure that you have a defined objective. Why are you creating this property investment club? Are you creating it so that people will be able to put money together and be able to do what, right? Find out or define for yourself exactly what the objective for which you are bringing this group of persons together is. Three, now that you've created the objective, you've told people, or you're speaking to people about this, they're getting excited, right? They want to do this with you. Get this right. It's not so much about, now I've got people, let's go to the bank, let's go and open a club account, blah, blah, blah. No. In South Africa, you cannot buy property unless you are a person. Unless you're a person. What do I mean by a person? I mean, you can be a natural person like a Quagrin that's here, that has an identity number and therefore can enter into a contract and as a Quagrin with his ID number. Alternatively, you can be an unnatural person, such as a company, a trust, and when I say company, I mean both CCs. So yes, in South Africa, you can't register a CC anymore, but you can still buy a CC off the shelf. Or you can be a PTY Limited, which is a private company, and that makes you a person. Or you can even be a trust, right? So you have a trust deed written up, and you're able to then publish that. That's one of it, and you can be a person, and with that, you can then, of course, go about and buy property. You need to get the formation right. You need to decide how you want to get this done, because there's nothing as frustrating yet again as bringing a whole group of people together, getting the funds together. Getting funds is easy, but getting the funds together. And once you've gotten the funds together, you realize after a while that, hey, person A wants to move out. Person D is not contributing, is not pulling their weight. They don't want to be a part of this any longer. And now you're caught up between having an asset which you need to dispose of and who to benefit from. So one, as we started, The basics to property investment club or property Stockvel is number one, make sure that you know and understand that it's not just about the name. It is about going into the nitty-gritties of it. Number two, make sure you have the basic objective of the group well defined and from the beginning. Number three, understand that you need to formalize this thing in one way or the other so that you can be a person. And when I say person, either, well, since you're a group, you can't be a natural person anymore. So you will have to be an unnatural person. And that means being a company or being a trust or being some sort of a partnership. So partnerships are also allowed. So have a partnership agreement in place. Now that leads me to point number four. Point number four, it's all about the letter of the group. So in other words, what are your investment strategies? What are your policies? What is it that is governing this specific group? You need to have that and have it bedded down, because if you don't have it in writing, it doesn't exist, right? Especially where there's a group of people coming together, because it's always going to be my word against your word. Formalize this thing. Make sure you have the agreement in place. Make sure you have it in writing. Now you've got all of this in place. It's all good and well. But reality is as follows. The people running it, so right? So point number five is make sure you have a competent team to run with this. Make sure you have a competent team or a decision-making process to ensure that this thing that you're forming has wheels and will continue going forward. Why is this so important? Anyone can listen to somebody and have an idea to create a property investment club. Great. You will lose money if you don't know what you're doing. Because truth be told, if you don't know how to invest in property, you're wasting your time wanting to run a property investment club. Buying property is not just about going there and saying, hey, I see your property is advertised for 1 million. I've got 1 million cash. Boom, let me make an offer. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. You need to understand the game of property investing, or have people in your group that understand the game of property investing, or better yet, put as part of your strategy to employ a property investment coach that knows what they're doing and will be able to help you analyze each deal and ensure that it meets the objective of your property investment club. If you've just joined this video and you've missed out anything we've said, here's a quick summary. A property investment club, it's not just about the name. It's beyond that. It's about the nitty-gritties. Take time and make sure that you've created a great objective for which you can abide by and which you can share. 3, make sure once you've done that, you are able to then create some sort of a person ability. In other words, create a company, a trust, a partnership, or something that would be able, or you'd be able to utilize to actually acquire properties. 4, make sure once you have that entity in place, you have the letter. So in other words, you have the right policies drafted out, the right guidance documents, or anything that's going to help you govern this property investment club is well structured. 5, make sure you have the right team, the right competent team, or the right advisory body that you can utilize to be able to run this properly. Now, if you do these right, the process then becomes easy going forward, because then you would be able to at least be accountable to the people that you've brought together, and hopefully you can drive them to also attain the results and stuff that they seek. I'm Ebo Quagrin. It's been great doing this little video for you to be able to consistently stay in touch and enjoy the advice and the education that I share on this platform. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notify me button so that you are always notified whenever we're online. Other than that, stay tuned next week when we share yet again valuable advice and valuable tips and valuable educational content that you can take, implement in your life, and ensure that you create wealth. Have a fantastic day, and make sure you also tag someone in this video. Share this video with someone else, because when you share, you're able to get back. And when you share, you also say to your network of friends that, hey, I care about you. That when I learn, I share with you. Have a great day. It was a great pleasure being online with you. Keep well. Bye-bye.